Hello, my name is Shibidy Joe. Welcome to my show. Now, for the new ones who don't understand what's going on right now, I'll explain that in a minute. But right now, I would like to introduce all of you to the concept of IDP, DTR, or DPT for short. Now, to explain what that is. Interwoven, dual point, dimensional timeline referencing. Dual point timeline for short. What is all this? Very simple. This, my friends, is time travel. Hello, I'm Shibidy Joe. Welcome to my show. Now, for you veterans, you know exactly what this concept is. For the new ones, I'll explain. Oh, one more thing. Just so we're on the same page, I can touch the outside world. Okay. By the way, in my previous video, whatever dimension I was in was very cold. Today, in this universe dimension, it is quite hot, so I think I will take off the coat. Oh, no, can't cross that, can't cross that. Blasted coat. Okay, boy. Here we go. I'm a professional, as you can see. Let's touch something out here. Well, this universe is slightly warmer. Now, let's see if that's just naturally how it is or if it's because of something else. By the way, where you saw me before, I was already in this house. But I was in it in a different timeline. I'll explain that. It is July currently in this world. Now, let's explain time travel to you. But to do that, I'll need a better angle. I can now finally get out of this tub. Now also I'll explain why this cardboard's here. It's very simple. But let's go on out. Okay, I took the liberty of setting this up a bit beforehand. I don't mean the table. I just mean the camera. The table was here when I got here. Let's explain a couple things, shall we? You will be staring at this for a little bit instead of me. It's okay. Don't ask questions. That's all I ask. You fucking son of a bitch! I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. The camera moved. It's okay. Anyway. Now. As you may have noticed, it's a very similar table to what we had, except there's a tablecloth here. I didn't set that up. Everything in this world that you can barely see right now has been here when I came in. Like I said, I started from the same house. I ended up in a slight different variant of the same house. I'll explain them right now. So, interwoven, dual point, dimensional, timeline referencing, time travel. Now, not time travel in the movies where you get into a device and you can just jump to 1943 Nazi Germany. No. Let's say you're at point A. You're here. You want to get to point G. Now, if this was regular travel, you'd have to go through point B, blah, 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 blah. But with time travel, or DPT, I'll just call it for that, you want a dual point system, you skip B through F completely. So, you can travel from point A to point G. However, it's impossible to move anywhere ahead or before point A. That sounds complicated. It's not complicated. Point A is its own universe. That's its own thing. Point G is a completely different universe. But you cannot travel before or in the future within point A. Time travel, I can't go to my exact Earth 20 years ago. I will go to a very similar copy of my Earth 20 years ago. So time travel is not traveling time, it's traveling dimensions. However, it's sort of like time travel because due to the multiple infinite universes in between, I can eventually find one just like mine. Maybe a slight variant. For instance, I actually traveled. So when I started here, it was winter. When I got here, it's now summer. But I haven't changed. My time to my perspective hasn't changed. Time is relative due to your perspective. This is getting complicated. Let me explain it a little better. The way you get from here to here, I have to anchor myself here and here. So I would anchor myself somehow here. You have to find the points in these worlds where you can anchor. For instance, that bathtub was my anchor. Use a little device, plug it in, boom, I found it. Now, when I go to point G, I will end up in that same bathtub. However, me being cocooned in, hence the cardboard, saves me. Saves me from what? The middle. The middle. Middle. This is all dangerous. See, anyone can travel through a loop. Just to also, a bit of perspective, to understanding the terminology, these are my two dual points. However, not whatever, no, wrong word, bad. However, I begin with 2 points, the dual point. In between, you would commonly call this a wormhole. You can find natural wormholes. The reason people can't travel through them is, well, this all rips you to shreds. It doesn't take much to cover you up. As long as you're covered, you're fine. Now, as a better perspective, in between A and G, there's nothing. There is nothing in here. There is no B through F. There's just nothing. To put it in perspective, the Stephen King Langoliers, as shitty as the movie was, and how poorly it does time travel, it did one thing correct. The in-between point. Imagine slipping through a crack in time where there's nothing. There's no air, no sound, nothing but a blinding white light. Now, technically, there may be locations within it, but our minds can't comprehend it. We would only see something familiar to us, but foreign. It's like looking in a mirror and not quite seeing yourself. Either way, whatever in here will kill you. So, yes. Now, let's go over one other point about time travel. Now, I'm from A. That's where I started this current loop. A loop is simply this. Now, Being that I'm anchored at 2 points, it's a two-way street. I can go back and forth. I can't go any other direction. So I can go back to that anchor, and I will return back here. However, let's say, for instance, you want to go somewhere else. Just as an example, point A and point G are the only points that connect in this world. This world only connects with this. So if you want to go further, you have to connect from here to, let's say, point Q. Whatever other point in here connects to here, you have to find that on your own. Now, I can't go from Q to A. I can only go from Q back to G and from G back to A. Here's the dangerous point. Now I want to... My apologies for the cuts. This house is inhabited by different people. My bad. Where was I? Yes. I was about to explain the dangerous part of all this. So, we'll use the bathtub that I was in. The bathtub. We'll just do bath. So the bathtub is the connection between point A and point G. But within G, there's a connection that leads me to Q. We'll say it's a single brick of a building. That point leads me to Q. So the brick is the connecting point. The bathtub's the connecting point. Now, I can't use a bathtub here, or the same bathtub, to lead me to this one. That doesn't happen. What might happen is it'll lead me to a slightly different A. But that A is not this A. Here's the danger. Let's say I want to go to Q to X. Whatever the connection is, it doesn't matter at this point. Then I want to go from X to B, from B to 2, and from 2 to pi. I cannot shortcut my way back to A. Whatever connect me here and here, I have to go from pi to 2, from 2 to B, B to X, X to Q, Q to G, and Q back to A. The dangerous thing is the more you do these loops within a loop, you start to get time distortions. Think of it like gender dysmorphia. You feel as if you're in the wrong body. In this case, you're in the wrong time. You're in the wrong dimension. This plays on the mind so much that it can cause madness in people. That's the very common thing. More dangerous ones is it can lead to death, vaporization. They'll come and get you. They'll come and get you. They're not here. So you have to keep tracing your way back till you get back to your dimension. If you do this enough, you forget. There's only so much of this you can remember. Writing it down doesn't work either because eventually the paper changes. The paper changes, or the material, or eventually this all starts to erase wherever you came from. Now I want to go to pi, I want to go here. That erases G. And so forth. Time starts to be erased. You start to forget various little times and events that happened within other universes. So technically speaking, you can completely forget your looping. Now there's ways around this. My method is I invented a couple devices that allow me to sort of track where I'm going. And it helps. It may look cheap, but look, when time distortions happen, like a lot of things break down. So, That's the basics. Now soon, hopefully I mention the middle point somewhere. I'll cut back to that. We'll cut back to that. Let me explain myself as well. I've been time traveling for a long time. It's not time travel. It's not time travel. I've been hopping dimensions for a long time. A very long time. So I don't know if I'm succumbing to the effects of long time dimensional hopping. Just to give you an example, I was born in 17... Oh, whoops. I was born in 1741. I discovered time hopping in the year, AD. In case you were wondering, it's AD. In 1763. In one of the dimensions I traveled to, I discovered something that's been discovered before. A liquid that allows you to live for a very long time. There is a fountain of youth in the world. I just don't know if this dimension has it or your dimension. There is a fountain of youth. There are mermaids, angels, demons, a heaven, a hell. There's everything. It just depends if your dimension has it. Let's cut back to the other video. The connections you make have to be completed. You have to go back where you came from. Many people have tried to travel through as many as they can go through. Many have. Not many make it back. You might be wondering why I'm doing this. I learned a long time ago the importance of time travel, or interdimensional travel, as it should properly be called. Everyone calls it time travel. It is not time travel. Interdimensional travel. And I am an advocate of interdimensional time travel. My name is Shibidy Joe. Welcome to my show. Thank you.